Dear children, I hope you all are fine and safe at your place. In this video, I will continue with Civics chapter Constitutional Design. Topics that will be explained in this video are Making of the Indian Constitution, Constituent Assembly, and Guiding Values of the Indian Constitution. First topic is Making of the Indian Constitution. The making of the Constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy affair. At that time, the people of India were emerging from the status of subjects to that of citizens. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences and was a traumatic experience for the people of India and Pakistan. The British had left it to the rulers of the princely states to decide whether they wanted to merge with India or with Pakistan or remain independent. When the constitution was being written, the future of the country did not look as secure as it does today. One of the major advantages for the makers of Indian Constitution was that consensus about what a democratic India should look like had already evolved during the freedom struggle. In 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders drafted a constitution for India. And in 1931, the resolution at the Karachi session of the Indian National Congress dwelt on how independent India's constitution should look like. Both these documents included features such as universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and to protecting the rights of minority in Constitution of Independent India. Many of our leaders were inspired by the ideas of the French Revolution, the Socialist Revolution in Russia, the practice of parliamentary democracy of Britain, and the Bill of Rights in USA. But they did not simply imitate these principles. At each step, they were questioning whether these things suited our country. All these factors contributed to the making of our constitution. Next topic is the Constituent Assembly. The drafting of the constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946 and its first meeting was held in December 1946. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan, and the Constituent Assembly was also divided into Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January 1950. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26 as Republic Day every year. The Constituent Assembly worked in systematic, open and consensual manner. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then, a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. Every document was presented and every word spoken in Constitution has been recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. Next topic is Guiding values of the Indian Constitution. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Jawaharlal Nehru put forward their views about the dream and the promise of the Indian Constitution. The preamble of the Constitution speaks about the philosophy on which entire Constitution has been built. It is the soul of Indian Constitution. These values are embedded in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. They guide all the articles of the Indian Constitution. The constitutions begin with a short statement of its basic values. This is called the preamble of the Constitution. Guiding values, or the key words of the Indian Constitution, are we the people of India, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Institutional design. A constitution is not merely a statement of values and philosophy. It is merely about embodying these values into institutional arrangements. It is a very long and detailed document. Therefore, it needs to be amended quite regularly to keep it updated. Provisions are made to incorporate changes known as constitutional amendments from time to time. Like any constitution, the Indian Constitution also lays down a procedure for choosing persons to govern the country. It defines who will have how much power to make which decisions, and it put limits to what the government can do by providing some rights to the citizen that cannot be violated.